Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 110 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you guys all the new releases that I pick up at my local comic shop every week, and I tell you everything you need to know about every single issue. So this week was really small for me, so this is going to be a quick one. I only got 4 issues, 3 of them from Marvel, 1 of them from DC, surprisingly, which I'll show at the end. But yeah, so pretty small week, but Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday, so make sure to look out for a comic haul review. I'll be doing of that. I might also try putting out like a quick video going over like the top releases you need to look out for on Free Comic Book Day. I did that last year, and that was pretty fun. So look out for some Free Comic Book Day content this Saturday. For now, we've got a pretty good week of books, although I didn't get too many. There were some good releases that came out this week. A lot of new #1s and stuff from Marvel, one of which I picked up. So let's just get right into it here right now. Probably the biggest release from Marvel this week was Carnage Reigns Alpha #1. There's so much going on in this cover. I feel like it's almost like a bad cover for an issue #1 that's supposed to be a new jumping on point, right? Because you can't even tell what's happening. Ryan Stegman did the cover though, which is pretty cool, getting back into his Venom stuff. But basically, Carnage Reigns is this crossover that's going to be between the Carnage, Miles Morales, and Red Goblin ongoing series, right? So it all kicks off in like this Alpha issue, and then they're doing an Omega one at the end. And it has to do with Cletus Cassidy and his new like extrembiote armor that came from this virus of Iron Man's armor. Basically, Cletus Cassidy is like removed from the Carnage symbiote now, right? And the Carnage symbiote is off doing its own thing. It's stealing powers from gods and stuff, and that's all been happening in the Carnage ongoing series. But now we're kind of pivoting to having more of a focus on Cletus Cassidy and what he's been doing without his symbiote, and how he's actually like risen to power. So we haven't had too much like setup for this, to be completely honest. Like, there's no really good reason for Miles Morales to be crossing over. He hasn't had too much history with Carnage, but we'll see how they end up tying the two series together. I think honestly probably all it'll be is just that Miles comes across Carnage and has to deal with him, which is good enough, right? It's just superhero comics, whatever. It doesn't need to be some like long, deep history that leads up to an event like this. I'll be really curious to see how Red Goblin also ties into it. Maybe he won't be too central at the beginning, because I know he only has like one issue that ties in, whereas Miles and Carnage are a little bit more important. Artwork is looking pretty clean in here though, and I was noticing we've got like some backup stories in the back here, and this is also part of that whole new Death of the Venomverse. Not Death of Venomverse, that's like one of the events that's part of this whole Summer of Symbiotes event, right? I made a video talking about that and going over some of the news, but they're just dubbing like all the symbiote titles coming out this summer Summer of Symbiotes, because there's so many, and this little mini event is part of it. So looking forward to this. Let me know if you guys want to review this one too. I might try that out. But next up from Marvel Comics, another Spider-Man, universe, outside of the universe title here. It's Spider-Man issue #8. So this is like the first actual regular issue of Spider-Man that we've had so far, right? Those first 7 issues were all that End of the Spider-Verse event. So much multiverse stuff going on between End of the Spider-Verse and End of the Venomverse. They're really putting out way too much right now, in my opinion. But this is what I've been looking for, right? Basically, this is just Dan Slott's return to Spider-Man with Mark Bagley on the artwork. And now that they've got their first like normal issue of the run, I'll be curious to see what they do with this new title that's just like the companion title to the main Amazing Spider-Man series. I'll admit it though, this is kind of big news for anyone who's been reading ASM, but I decided to drop it. So I'm going to read it through till number 26, because that's the last issue of this current arc where they're going over all the Mary Jane stuff. But yeah, I'm just really not liking that title too much, so I'm dropping it after 26, and this series better be good, because it's going to be my monthly Amazing Spider-Man fix. And I'm not getting the main title anymore. So really hoping that Dan Slott can pull through. I liked what I read of his original run. I haven't read all of it, and I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fan of him. But look at that, we're getting more Spider-Boy appearances. That character, his first appearance went so crazy with the last issue of this series. It's now worth a lot of money. We'll see about this. Let me know what you guys are thinking of Spider-Man, what you're thinking of the new Spider-Boy series down in the comments. Last issue I picked up from Marvel Comics this week, though, one of my favorite ongoing series from them. This one is Moon Knight #23. It's Venom and Moon Knight, so they're crossing over. I'm realizing all 3 of the issues that I got from Marvel this week are all related to Spider-Man somehow, right? But yeah, so Moon Knight, it's been a really good series. We've just got like kind of ongoing plot threads that continue throughout the whole series. Wow, look at this page right here. Alessandro Capuccio is drawing Venom really cool here. Maybe he's going to be good for like the Venom ongoing series. That's an awesome page. But yeah, so like obviously there's ongoing plot threads of this series, but each issue is also kind of standalone. That's my favorite thing about it. Like last issue fully focused on Tigra as a supporting character and giving her her own issue. We've got like kind of a love interest that's starting to kindle between her and Mark. Wow, that's a crazy page. This is like one of the best parts of this book, right? Sometimes it doesn't always stand out, but the main artist on here, Capuccio, does these really amazing splash pages. We just found out that we're like leading into this new number 25 of this series. It's like an anniversary issue that they're doing a big oversized one for, so this might be leading to something kind of big coming up. in the ongoing Moon Knight series, but still a very strong recommendation from me. This book has been really good so far, and it continues to be. I hope they keep making it, and they don't end with 25 or anything. That's what I'm a little bit worried about, but that's Moon Knight number 23. Lastly, though, I did say I picked up a DC issue, if you guys can believe it. That's very unusual for me. But this one is Peacemaker Tries Hard. So I watched the Peacemaker show like a year ago, whenever it came out, and I loved it. I loved Suicide Squad by James Gunn also, so I just had to pick this up now that Peacemaker is kind of one of my new favorite characters, right? One of my only DC characters that I'm actually invested in. This is Black Label, so this is a $5 book, but you get like a hardcover. I'm not sure exactly how many pages it is, but yeah, honestly, I don't think I've missed that much though. If I'm correct, right? I don't think Peacemaker has much of a history at DC, if I'm remembering right, because I think he was like more of a lesser known character before Suicide Squad came out. But ever since then, DC has been trying to put a little bit more focus on him. He had like a one-shot that came out last year that was pretty good that I picked up, and now they're giving him his own mini-series, Peacemaker Tries Hard, right? So this is written by Kyle Starks. I've heard about his writing being like kind of comedic, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Artwork is looking pretty clean, pretty colorful in here, and it looks like they're actually trying to adapt the John Cena version of the character. Yeah, his face is the same and everything. So since it's Black Label, I think this might actually not be connected to the rest of the DC universe, because that's the deal with most Black Label titles. Really looking forward to this. Here's one more page of artwork. If you guys are picking this up, let me know. I'm curious to know your thoughts on Peacemaker as a character. But yeah, Peacemaker Tries Hard, trying out a DC miniseries here. And this is a good one to jump on board for, since it's like not connected to anything, right? But those are the 4 issues I picked up for New Comic Book Day this week. Pretty small week for me, but I've still got some catching up to do from previous weeks, so it'll be good to have a little bit of a break. Yeah, let me know what you're looking forward to for Free Comic Book Day and just for this week's comics down in the comments section below. If you already read your issues, which was your favorite of the week? I really appreciate you guys sticking around for these new comics hauls. If you haven't already hit the sub button, it's the big button right below the video. We're getting closer to the next milestone, right? 600 subs is next, and we're climbing towards that, and 1,000 is on the horizon. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys for next week's haul. Bye, guys.